Well, we know there's record low inventory here in San Diego, and buyers are having a time of it. So, how about the off-market approach? Danny and Kyle here from Barker Brothers. How you guys doing?
Good, good. How
Good
are
to see
you
you.
there?
Thanks
Great
for
to have
having me.
you. Absolutely. Let's talk about this. I'm so excited. I've heard about the success. I've seen the action going on. What is the off-market approach?
So to properly explain like what the off-market approach is, you have to first understand where it came from.
Okay.
Being the 20-year Navy vet, a lot of veterans that are active duty or retired in this area are attracted to do business with me for that reason. So I just kept making offers after offers after offers, and it seemed like a Veterans Affairs loan was the hang-up, right? Where the sellers just weren't comfortable. There's all kinds of bad actors 20, 30 years ago when it comes to appraisals and making people fix things that don't necessarily be fixed, like a ripped screen. That's not the case anymore, but not all agents got that memo. So what I did is I noticed that one of my veterans, Raji and Doris, they were really focusing on one neighborhood, and they had made 3 offers, and the final straw for me was that most recent offer, the last offer they made on the market, they were the highest bid by 15,000, and it still wasn't enough for the seller and the listing agent to take the offer.
Wow.
So I said, what can I do, right? I have this system of calling people and asking if they were interested in selling. Maybe I can have an appointment to sell their home. So what I did is I just took what I knew and started calling the neighborhood, all the owners. Hey, if you're planning on moving at all, I have a full price, top dollar offer for you from my buyers that have been getting beaten out by this market. Would you be interested? And 2 hours in, yes.
Wow.
At what price, right? And then we set a price over the phone because I was comfortable offering that price. It was enticing enough for him to do it. He was renting it out to family friends. He had the family friends move out, and my veteran bought the home.
So, how long were they looking for homes and writing offers and coming up empty?
I think about 3 months.
So, 3 months of banging your head against the wall. Then you go, hey, listen, I'm calling sellers anyway over here, trying to find people who want to sell their home. Maybe I can just call sellers just for you guys, specifically in the area where you want to be, to try to find that perfect seller for you. And so the seller was open to it. They said, okay, sure. I don't, I'd love to help a veteran family.
I just found the guy that was renting it out for not enough. They were paying below market rent because they were family friends, and he, at the number that I presented, he was comfortable telling his family friends that they're going to have to go find somewhere else to live.
Wow.
Which was powerful, right?
Do you feel like your buyers in this situation are buying it at the market or below the market or somewhere in the vicinity of the market?
So it's hit or miss because since then I've kind of dialed it into, wait a minute, I have a fiduciary duty to these sellers as well, right? So the first guy refused to pay me any commissions at all, right? So I convinced him to pay us 2.5 to represent the buyer, but that was it. He was not gonna have me do anything for him. And but because of that, I said, okay, I need a different approach because I want to represent the seller as well. So in that meeting, now I don't give a number over the phone. I approach it more like, hey, if you're interested at all, I have an option for you that's real, and I would like to sit down at your kitchen table and talk it over with you, see if it works for you. So now when I go in, I say, this is how I believe that your house would perform on the market. And if they agree or disagree, it's okay. They set their own price. It's their property. Then I ask, so I do have a buyer that's interested in specifically this home in this neighborhood. What price makes sense for you if they were able to perform at that price? So now I've got a meeting. These people definitely want to sell, whether it's on market or off market. And they've set an on market expectation. And then they set, oh, well, if we can do it the easy way, then I could probably take a little bit lower than what we would expect from the market. So it's really up to that seller, and they understand what they're getting into. And my buyers in this approach, we have to set some expectations for them as well. Like, we're not going to bang them over the head for anything outside of health and safety. We're not going to ask them the age of the roof and all that stuff. All this stuff will be in the disclosures. We're just going to go into escrow. We're going to buy you the home.
A friendly deal.
That's right.
A friendly deal.
Oh yeah,
The old
that's a
way.
good point. That's a good point because this this market is very hostile.
It's extremely hostile.
Yeah.
It's a you know, it's everyone's wearing different colored jerseys. Like, wait a minute, aren't we all on the same team? Don't we all want to get a deal done here?
You would think.
You know, it's all just trying to help people.
Yeah.
You know, it's if they want to sell, great, we have a buyer. If they don't want to sell, that's okay too.
Sure.
You know, it's your house, it's your property, whatever you decide you want to do with it. It's, you know, when you have a buyer who's lost 3, 4, 5 offers, now they're getting frustrated looking at you like, hey man, what are you going to do for me? Well, this is what we're going to do for
Pick
them.
up the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is amazing because, you know, in a market where everyone is trying to sort of go through the long line at the front door, what you guys are saying is side entrance, VIP. We take you in over here. That's what we're going to do, and it's going to take some hustle. We're going to have to hustle for you, but you know, maybe it'll be worth our while. Maybe we'll catch a seller as well. So it's such a good. The best strategies are always a win-win.
Yep.
The best strategies are always a win-win, and I love the way that fits into this.
Absolutely.
We just want to help people. And it's like, for instance, we had another one recently where a lady wants to move after her son graduates high school. So she's identified she's ready to move in a year or so. We have a buyer who wants to go directly into her neighborhood. So just right there, we're setting the deal, hopefully to come soon, to help her before she even needs to look around, give her all the information she needs before she even needs it.
She'll be dialed in
Yeah.
long ahead of time.
And this lady's hang up on her offers not getting accepted as FHA, low down payment, not a whole lot to prove that you can pay over appraisal.
Yeah.
And when Kyle and I dove into this particular property, we identified we'll probably go to the market at 525. The last one of that model sold at 520 a couple months ago, and then we'll see what the market bears. And I explained that to the seller, and I said, so what is the right now price? And we don't have to do anything to get ready for the market. It just becomes hers, and she gives you the timeline you're asking for. She was like, well, I think 500 makes sense. So knowing that the appraiser is going to go in 525 or higher, right? And knowing that the seller's okay with 500 without doing any work at all, then that put me in a situation where I approached our buyer and said, hey, I know you don't have a whole lot of money in the bank. What if in this market we could get the seller to pay some or all of your closing costs? So she was like, oh, that would be great. What are you thinking? And I was like, why don't you call your lender and then you guys can let me know what kind of assistance would make the most sense for you.
Yeah.
And they came back 505 with 5 back, and the seller's entertaining it in this market.
Wow.
It's incredible. There's all kinds of stuff we're unlocking with this thing.
You really are. And you know, I think the biggest thing is the realization that not every seller wants to go through the traditional sale, open house, prepare, you know, process. What we would call maybe the top dollar process. Okay, hey, you want top dollar, you're going to need to spend some money, right? You're going to need to do this, do that, clean things up, you know, do all these things, have people come through the house. There's a lot of sellers who don't actually want to go through that. And with the market being so strong, they can still get a great number that's way in the green for them, that they're very happy with, and not have to go through the hassle.
No headaches.
Life has enough headaches. Life has enough hassles. Life has enough stress. And a lot of sellers, you know, I just don't want it. Don't need it. And that's what you guys are finding. And it's so big because it comes at a point in time, particularly for the VA buyer, which I know you work a lot with, I work a lot with, who even really well qualified VA buyers get beat out left and right for months and months and months. And it's frustrating because, you know, we get to a certain self-righteous point where we're like, what are you doing? This person served the country, you know, and then, but it's like, okay, they're just a seller. Everyone's just trying to do what they think is best for their families. Okay, you know, you take a step back. But you're right, there's misnomers about the VA loan. You're right, it's a very competitive market. So when you have an option, just something even that could provide a little hope, you know, that's big, in my opinion.
I think so, especially with the people that are out there. I've heard, you know, I'm in a lot of Facebook groups with other real estate agents, and they'll say, here's the needs list for my buyer. I've made 12, 15 offers for them, and can somebody please help me with what you've got coming soon? So that realtor is asking other realtors to convince their buyer or convince their seller to entertain their buyer before testing the market. But most people that have got to the point where they're in a listing agreement with somebody, they have a plan, and they don't want to take that lower offer. So every relationship can go towards, let's get you top dollar. I don't know any sellers that would refuse another 20, 30, 40 grand, right?
Yeah.
But like you said, they have to weigh that. Is it worth it to skip all of these steps and get right to the meat of it? And it makes sense
Some
for
people
them.
think it does.
Yeah.
And that is why there is an off-market opportunity situation going on here. Guys, thank you so much for your time. It's great
Thank
to
you.
see you, Danny.
Appreciate your
I
time.
appreciate your time. Thank
Appreciate
you guys
it.
so much. Hey, share this video with your friends, especially people who've been frustrated trying to buy in this market. Let's help make them smarter than everyone else.